welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I am Karen. Today we are looking at a lesson called Small Ways We Can Help the Planet. And when we're talking about the planet, we're talking about planet Earth, right? So small ways we can help because we know that we do not want to hurt our Earth even more because of global warming and all the terrible things that's happening to our Earth.
Yeah, so there's little things that you can do in your everyday life that maybe won't be too inconvenient for you, but will actually help the Earth in a small way.
That's right. So let me ask you, Matt, what are some of the small ways that you do, to help the planet?
Well, I usually ride a U-bike when I'm going somewhere as long as it's not raining. And then if it is raining, I'll usually take public transit like the MRT to go somewhere. And that means I'm not driving a car or a scooter, so I'm not hurting the environment in that way.
That's right, because you're not causing pollution, right, by driving a car everywhere you go. Well, some of the ways that I take to help our planet is that I always bring my own shopping bag.
Okay.
Instead of buying a plastic bag every single time I go grocery shopping. So I think that would help cut down on the plastics that we use. And also, I bring my water bottle everywhere I go, so I don't have to keep on buying water bottles. That's also plastic.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, I usually buy water in plastic bottles every time I play football, but maybe I can start to change that habit. Maybe I should be using my own water bottle, my own reusable one, instead of always creating more plastic waste.
Exactly. I think there are so many things that we can all do to help our planet, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. So let's get into it.
Luke and Charlotte are in line at a tea shop.
Hey, what's with the bottle?
Oh, this? I started bringing my own bottle when I go to get a drink.
Really? Does the shop allow that?
Yes. Chain shops even give a small discount if you bring a reusable bottle. The government requires it.
I never thought about that, but it's a good idea. It's better for the environment, less plastic waste.
I try to do small things daily, like using a reusable bag instead of plastic ones. Little habits add up.
That's smart. I should start doing that too.
Looking at our dialogue today, and it's about small ways we can help the planet. And the first dialogue we are going to be focusing on is about using reusable items. When you say using reusable items, that means something like items that you can use it over and over and over again. You don't just use it once and throw it away. So reusable items.
All right, so we've got Luke and Charlotte are in line at a tea shop. So there are two characters, Charlotte and Luke, and I will read for Luke and Karen will read for Charlotte.
That's right. So Charlotte starts off by saying, "Hey, what's with the bottle?" So I guess Charlotte notices that Luke has a bottle.
Luke says, "Oh, this? I started bringing my own bottle when I go to get a drink."
Oh, so maybe he has his own water bottle, right? And then Charlotte says, "Really? Does the shop allow that?" So I guess some of the shops would not allow it. Maybe they want you to buy drinks in their shops, right?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes it could be hard to make sure that it's the right size. True. If someone has a huge bottle of their own and the person working in the shop doesn't know when to stop filling it because it's not the size they're used to.
That's true.
But Luke says, yes. Chain shops even give a small discount if you bring a reusable bottle. The government requires it.
Gives you a discount. Does that mean that to make it cheaper?
That's right. So that means that you get a reduction in the price. The price becomes lower, and that's because of this benefit that the government requires. So you'll get a cheaper price for your drink if you bring your own bottle. An example sentence, Madeline asked for a discount at the counter.
That's right. And I think the government may be trying to encourage people to create less waste, right? So that is why if you bring your own bottle to the coffee shop or maybe the tea shop, they will give you a discount. So that's why the government will require that to make little changes in our society to help our planets.
That's right. Well, now let's go to Hanny.Hello，
大家好，我是 Hanny。这次的对话是关于拯救地球的小小行动。第一段对话的小标题是 Using reusable items， 使用可重复利用的物品。Reusable 是形容可重复使用的，那它就是由字首 re 表示再次重新，加上动词 use 使用，然后去掉 e， 再加上形容词字尾 able， 可以表达能怎么样的。好，那么对话一开始，我们看到 Luke 跟 Charlotte 在一家茶饮店排队。Luke 自己有带瓶子来装饮料，他告诉 Charlotte 自己准备可重复使用的瓶子，这时候呢，连锁店就会给小折扣，这是政府规定的。好，来看单字 discount， 它当名词表示折扣，当动词可以表达打折。Matt 老师在解释单字时用到 reduction 可以表达减少、降低或缩小的意思。接着回到对话中。Thank you, Hanny. And now we are back. Okay, so let's continue with our dialogue. Now, Charlotte says, I never thought about that, but it's a good idea. It's better for the environment, less plastic waste. And that's what we were talking about, right? If you bring your own bottle, instead of getting a new one, maybe they will give you plastic or paper cup, whatever it is, it's going to be a waste, right? And plastic is something that we often see when you're buying a drink. It could be a plastic bottle. So what does it mean when I say plastic? That is an adjective. So it's basically a man-made material from chemicals that's moldable when soft and hard when cool, used for things like toys, bottles, and bags, and is strong, light, and comes in many different forms, from Legos to credit cards. An example sentence would be, many shops no longer provide plastic bags. And then that goes the same, that's the same thing in Taiwan as well, in other countries too. I think everyone is trying to reduce the plastic waste, right?
That's right. So getting back to our dialogue, Luke says, I try to do small things daily, like using a reusable bag instead of plastic ones. Little habits add up.
And that is exactly what I do. Remember how I told you that I also bring my own shopping bag too? So when I go to a store or a shop, I don't have to spend money to buy another plastic bag to create more waste. And now Charlotte says, that's smart. I should start doing that too. And oftentimes you would be influenced by your friends. If you have friends who are doing something, and especially when it's good, and then they would make an impact on your decision to do certain things as well.
All right, well now let's go to Hanny.
自备瓶子装饮料对环境比较好，可以减少塑胶废弃物。那接着 Luke 说，他会试着每天做点小事，像是用环保袋来代替塑胶袋。那他有说 ，little habits add up。小习惯会累积成大改变。那么偏语动词 add up 在这边当不及物用，是表达逐渐累积而产生效果，可以引申为积少成多的意思。那么单字 plastic 它当形容词可以形容塑胶的、塑胶制的，也可以当名词来表达塑胶或塑胶制品。Karen 老师刚刚有用到 moldable 这个字，也就是在 mold M-O-L-D 后面加上 A-B-L-E， 可以表达可塑的。我们补充一下这个动词 mold， 它可以表达用模具制作或者是使塑造成型的意思。那接着回到对话中。Thank you, Hanny. And now we are back. Okay, so from our dialogue, we can learn that there are little things that we can all do on a daily basis to help our planet. For example, bringing your own bottle or cup to the coffee shop to buy your drinks. And also you can maybe bring your own reusable bag when you go shopping, right?
That's right. All right, now it's time for us to go to the second part of the dialogue, and we'll be right back.
Luke and Charlotte are eating lunch together.
I noticed you've been eating mostly vegetarian meals lately. Are you on a new diet?
Sort of. I'm cutting down on meat. Producing meat uses a lot of resources and contributes to pollution.
Makes sense. I've been thinking about trying that too.
You should. Even a few meals a week make a difference. Plus, it's fun to try making some of your favorite dishes vegetarian.
I could start slow. Maybe just lunch or a couple of dinners.
Exactly. Small changes are easier to stick with, and they encourage you to keep going.
Welcome back, everyone. So, today we're talking about small ways we can help the planet. Now, this is the second dialogue that we'll be looking at, and it's about eating less meat. So, do you eat a lot of meat, Matt?
Yeah, I do. I do eat a lot of meat.
Okay.
I mean, just about every meal has some meat in it.
Okay, so you're a big meat eater.
I guess so.
Okay, well, I guess maybe you should pay attention to our dialogue and see if there are any changes that you can make to help our planet.
All right, well, again, we've got a dialogue that's Luke and Charlotte are eating lunch together. So again, Karen will be Charlotte and I will read for Luke.
That's right. So Charlotte starts off by saying, I noticed you've been eating mostly vegetarian meals lately. Are you on a new diet? Okay, so I guess she noticed that Luke has been on a new diet, right? Eating mostly vegetarian meals. So mostly, what does that mean? Mostly, that is an adverb. Mostly means mainly or for the most part, showing something is true most of the time or for the majority of something. Like the weather is mostly sunny, meaning it's sunny almost all day, not entirely. An example sentence would be, Angelina mostly wears black clothes. That means on most days, she wears black clothes.
So Luke responds to Charlotte by saying, sort of, I'm cutting down on meat. Producing meat uses a lot of resources and contributes to pollution. Okay, so the word there, resource, a resource is a noun, and it is the things that are required or needed in order to make something else happen. So in this case, to create meat, we need a lot of water, a lot of food. We need to use a lot of land space that maybe could otherwise have trees, and that's why these resources aren't being used in the best way if maybe they are being used to make meat. So here's an example sentence. There aren't enough resources to build the new train station.
And now Charlotte says, makes sense. I've been thinking about trying that too. So when she says makes sense, that means she agrees with what Luke was saying, maybe eating more vegetarian meals can help the planet. And she said, I've been trying to do that too. So she herself has also been trying to eat more, vegetarian meals instead of more meat, right?
All right. Well, now it's time to go to Hanny.
在第二段对话里 ，Charlotte 注意到 Luke 最近大多都是吃素，问他是不是在尝试新的饮食方式。Luke 说：“算是吧，他在减少吃肉，因为肉类生产会使用到大量的资源，也会造成污染。”那么单字 mostly 这个副词它表示大部分、多半或是主要的、通常。那么 resource 这个名词表示资源。补充一下，对话里面它有用到 sort of 是口语用法，用来表达这种保留或模糊的态度，意思就接近算是吧，不完全是，但是可以这么说啦。好，那我们接回到对话中。
Thank you, Hanny. And now let's get back to the dialogue. So now Luke says, you should. Even a few meals a week make a difference. Plus, it's fun to try making some of your favorite dishes vegetarian.
And I think it's possible. Some people might like the texture of eating meat, but I know there are some ways where, vegetarian meals can actually make vegetables taste more like meat, right?
I guess so, yeah. But you could just eat meat.
Well, if you want to help our planet, right? But now Charlotte says, I could start slow, maybe just lunch or a couple of dinners. So she wants to start slow so she doesn't want to switch entirely to vegetarian meals right away. So starting slow is actually a good idea. Maybe she's really used to eating some meat every single time. But if just taking, lunch or a few dinners a few times a week, that would also help too.
I guess so. Luke says, exactly. Small changes are easier to stick with, and they encourage you to keep going.
Definitely.
Okay, I think that's for anything in life. If you make small changes instead of major changes, especially when you're doing something maybe that you don't love or you don't really, it's not your favorite thing, but if you start with small changes, it can help you to stick to that thing and stick to that maybe new diet like this sort of vegetarian diet.
Exactly. Okay, let's go over to Hanny first and we'll be right back. 听到 Charlotte 考虑减少吃肉 ，Luke 建议他应该试一试，就算一周只吃几餐的素食，也能带来改变。而且呢，把最喜欢的菜做成素食版本也很有趣。他告诉 Charlotte， 小改变比较容易坚持，也会鼓励自己能够持续下去。好，文中用到 make a difference 是表达产生正面的影响，带来实际的改变。那么 stick with 加名词则可以表达坚持继续使用什么什么。还有 keep going 就是持续下去，不放弃。补充一下 ，Karen 老师聊到素食菜肴，像是素肉啊、植物肉，吃起来的口感有时候是像真的肉。老师用到 texture 这个字 ，texture，texture 表示口感、质感或是质地。那我们接着回到对话中。Thank you, Hanny. And now we are back. So from the second dialogue that we looked at today, so eating less meat can also help our planet as well, right? So maybe we don't have to, become a vegetarian by just cutting meat, our, intake on meat. I think that would also help.
Yeah, I guess so. So I need to go get myself a reusable cup and some vegetables for dinner tonight.
That is a great idea, and I think I will do exactly the same. And maybe you guys can start too.
All right, well, let's review our dialogue again, and we will see you next time.
See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Luke and Charlotte are in line at a tea shop.
Hey, what's with the bottle?
Oh, this? I started bringing my own bottle when I go to get a drink.
Really? Does the shop allow that?
Yes. Change shops even give a small discount if you bring a reusable bottle. The government requires it.
I never thought about that, but it's a good idea. It's better for the environment, less plastic waste.
I try to do small things daily, like using a reusable bag instead of plastic ones. Little habits add up.
That's smart. I should start doing that too.
Luke and Charlotte are eating lunch together.
I noticed you've been eating mostly vegetarian meals lately. Are you on a new diet?
Sort of. I'm cutting down on meat. Producing meat uses a lot of resources and contributes to pollution.
Makes sense. I've been thinking about trying that too.
You should. Even a few meals a week make a difference. Plus, it's fun to try making some of your favorite dishes vegetarian.
I could start slow. Maybe just lunch or a couple of dinners.
Exactly. Small changes are easier to stick with, and they encourage you to keep going.
Discount 最后我们来复习今天对话里的单字 discount 名词表示折扣，也可以当动词表示打折。Plastic 形容词形容塑胶的、塑胶制的，也可以当名词表达塑胶、塑胶制品。Mostly 副词表示大部分、多半、主要的或通常。Resource 名词它表示资源。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
A shop is a building or part of a building where goods or services are sold. Well, if you're in the mood for shopping, you might enjoy exploring the shops in Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village. Let's see what they have to offer. There are several souvenir shops in Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village. Every shop has its own theme and features. They sell different communities' products, including food, clothing, and wood sculptures. Color Beads Workshop in the Paiwan area sells accessories made with glass beads. Indigenous masters work on site and explain the meaning of each product for visitors. The patterns on the glass beads are like words. Different patterns mean different wishes. Millet Wine Story House in the Bunong area is a millet wine themed shop. It sells different flavors of millet wine. The sweet millet wine has a very smooth taste. In addition to millet wine, the shop also offers black rice wine and sorghum wine. They make great gifts. It's fascinating to see the culture of Taiwanese indigenous communities reflected through the goods sold in the shops at Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village. If you're interested in discovering more about the rich indigenous culture of Taiwan, you should definitely check it out for yourself.